What's going on, guys? So today is June 16th. My birthday's coming up, actually. I got a birthday on the 28th. If you follow my channel, you know I'm like one of the most indecisive people in the world. So basically, in a nutshell, have an A7S, having issues with the audio, got fed up, went and bought another RX 100, used that for a couple clips in one video, realized I hate the audio quality of that thing, and decided to make some changes. So now let me back up and explain what's happening right now. Today's video is gonna be like a vlog, but also the beginning of this video, and I'm gonna make this as quick as possible, is gonna go over the GH5 versus the A7S and what my thoughts are so far. I've been using the GH5 for like the last 4 days, testing it out. I haven't made a vlog, this will be the first time I make a video with it. But so far, just from testing it, I have zero issues with this camera. If anything, I really, really like it, and I'll explain a little bit more in a second. So, I shot my first probably 12 vlogs on a Canon 80D. I absolutely love that camera. It had a little screen that flipped out, but the file sizes were huge. It only shot in 1080 and it had no way of doing slow motion besides 720/60, which was garbage. So that pushed me into an A7S. Now let me say real quick, if you're looking at an 80D and you don't plan on doing very cinematic stuff, you just want to vlog, perfect camera. Don't think you need to get this camera or this one for vlogging. If you're looking to start a channel or you're looking to up your quality a little bit, these are like the two big dogs, not only in vlogging, but in videography as a whole. So you don't need either one of these cameras if you want to start a vlog. I would recommend like an A6300 or 6500, honestly. But let me get back to what I was saying. After the 80D, I switched to the A7S because I wanted S-Log, I wanted slow motion, and I wanted 4K. The A7S has been awesome for me for about 40 videos. I believe I'm on like 60 at this point. Great camera, but it definitely has its drawbacks, and there's one major issue that has actually made me swap altogether. Let me go over drawbacks real quick. First off, the screen, this awesome screen, is not a touch screen, which not that big of a deal once you get used to all the buttons, but at the same time, it's like, in this day and age, it should be a touch screen. Even more importantly though, it doesn't flip out. Yeah, it tilts up and down if you want it to, but you can't see yourself when you're filming. Being able to see framing, like I can, by the way, the GH5 has a flip out screen. I can see framing, I can see if I'm in focus, and I can see if I'm exposed correctly. The A7S, not a chance. So that was number one, is having a screen that flips out is like the most valuable thing in a vlogging camera. Number two, battery life. The A7S, for whatever reason, has a battery the size of like a GoPro battery, and you're talking about a camera that shoots 4K, a very high bitrate 4K. I can kill one of these batteries in 20 minutes of filming in 4K. So every time I go to shoot something, whether it's a vlog or a car show or anything like that, I typically would burn through about 3 or 4 batteries using this camera. And that is a headache to have to remember to charge 3 or 4 batteries and then take 3 or 4 batteries with you. The 80D would last for days on end. The GH5 so far from what I'm seeing is better than the A7S. It's not as good as the Canon, but it's in between the two and it has a pretty good sized battery. Number 3, and this is the major factor that made me switch over. This is kind of, it's not broken. A lot of them have this issue, but mine's definitely worse than a lot of the other ones. The preamp. So when you buy a shotgun mic, which is what 99% of vloggers are gonna use, they plug into your camera's they plug into your camera's mic jack. There's a preamp in the camera that takes that audio signal and converts it to whatever it has to do to process it. The preamps in the A7S, at least mine, are very, very susceptible to feedback. If you've ever been sitting next to a guitar amp and you heard a text message come through and you hear it kind of like beeping in the speaker, you know what I'm talking about. So if I was ever in a situation where there was another camera around me, which I live in a house full of vloggers, so that's kind of a given, around computer, which I work in software development, so again, a given, in cars, anything with electronics in it, there was a solid chance that this camera's audio was just gonna be a mess. Crackling, popping, beeping, all kinds of shit. I cannot tell you guys how many times I've gotten home and not been able to use audio or a clip because the feedback's just terrible. And then recently, the audio jack as a whole just stopped working. If I didn't have it turned exactly the way it was supposed to be, there was no audio on my clips. So that was the most frustrating part because I probably filmed an hour worth of footage over the last couple weeks that I wasn't able to use. I thought it was the mics for a while. I invested probably $600–700 in microphones, talked to Rode, sent mics back and forth, and finally they told me it was my camera. My options, buy another, I believe, $2,400 body of an A7S that I already own just so I can get audio, or switch it up a little bit. If I'm gonna buy a new camera, I don't wanna buy the same camera I already had. So Panasonic released the GH5. A lot of people have said really good things about it. A lot of people said really bad things about it. I decided to give it a try. That is my reason between switching to the Sony to the Panasonic. That last bit, if that wasn't the issue, there's not enough of a gain going to this camera. But since this thing's having issues, I'm gonna go the GH5. A lot of people have issues with the autofocusing on the GH5. Personally, I think those people don't know how to set the settings up and they're not taking advantage of the screen that is looking at me. I can tell I'm in focus. In my opinion, if you just want a camera to turn it on, put it in auto mode and hit record, the GH5 is probably not for you. Why would you buy such a capable camera if you're not gonna actually set it up the way you want it to be set up? I think a lot of people that are having issues are just because they want to turn it on, put it in auto mode and hit record. If you go through the settings, and the GH5 has a ridiculous amount of settings, especially for autofocus, you can get this camera to work however you want it to work. I have had no issues with autofocus, and I love that I can just use manual focus and see it, whereas this thing I could never do that. I had to rely on the autofocus. As far as low light goes and like any kind of like shallow depth of field and stuff, the A7S is a clear winner. But again, how often do I really shoot at night? And I'm still gonna keep the A7S. So if I do have a night shoot, I'll just take the A7S with me and film with that. That's about it, guys. That's as fast as I can kind of go over all the points. I watched reviews for a while online between these two cameras. I couldn't really find the answers I wanted between the two if you were looking at them from a vlogging standpoint. So that's why I decided to kind of make this video and also update you guys on the new camera, because I like to talk tech, even though some of you may think it's boring as fuck. So I have a car show I'm gonna go to in the morning. I have a lot of work I have to handle right now, so I'm gonna take care of some work, and then I really wanna go get a foam cannon, I believe Home Depot sells them, to wash my car. So I'm gonna wash my car for the car show tomorrow. Trying to work with a auto cleaning supplies company right now, putting a deal together, maybe stock up the garage with some stuff, but I don't have that yet, and I need to wash my car. And I saw some guy using a foam cannon the other day, it looked badass. So I probably don't need it, but it would look cool for video, especially in slow motion. I'm gonna go pick one of those up later. So this video is just gonna kind of be a vlog for the rest of it. You ever get the feeling that like everyone around you is moving in slow motion? Because I get it a decent amount. Like I'd say like 3 times a week. I get frustrated because like people around me, like ordering food, going through airport security, anything like that, are just like, I don't want to say they're stupid because that's kind of savage, but they're just like very slow. And I don't mean that like mentally or anything. I mean like just physically as human beings. They're just like very lethargic, and everything you say takes a couple seconds to process. And then, you know, it's like, it annoys the fuck out of me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe hopefully someone comments down below, they also feel that way sometimes. It's like, I was sitting behind people ordering at Freebirds, and it's just like, I'm looking at them like, what are y'all talking about? It's like the lady asked what kind of rice you want, like cilantro or brown, and she's like, oh, which one's which? And it's like, what the fuck do you think? Like, look at the colors. Like, what? I don't. Anyway, onward to Home Depot. Okay, so apparently the foam cannon things are not something that's just like readily available at stores. So I'm just gonna wash my car like old-fashioned way, and it's not gonna be nearly as cool, but it really needs to happen. Because last time I washed it, I said it was pretty bad, but I don't know how much of this the camera's gonna pick up. It is filthy. I mean, my wheels are like maroon at this point. Also, thinking about making some changes to the GT3, and then, you know, like filming, making the modifications myself. One of the things that I've always loved about the 991 cars was the Euro taillights, the clear tails. Really thinking about swapping out my taillights and going with the clears. And if I did that, and I know this is kind of crazy because obviously if I took away all the red, it would not be the same as it is now, but I was thinking about going to clear tails. All the red accents on the car go blacked out, just like do a custom set of forged wheels. And maybe just do like lime green or blue or some kind of accent on the brake calipers and just murder out the whole car. I've decided I really don't want to sell this car anytime soon, so I'm not going to sell it. I kind of want to maybe change it, keep it fresh. So comment down below what you think I should do, and I'm going to start getting to work on this. So, car is clean. This is probably where I'm gonna wrap up this video. Definitely gonna try to get back to posting multiple times a week. So I'm gonna try to edit this one right now, post it tonight. And then I got a car show tomorrow morning. If you guys wanna come out to that car show, it should be pretty cool. Called Exotics on Market Square, not sure. Should be a cool car show, I'll be out there. Overall, so far, this is the first real vlog I've done with the GH5. I gotta say, I love this camera so far. This camera should help me with like consistency. It's so easy to just like turn on. I know the audio is working. I know the picture looks the way I want it to look. I just hit record and then I just worry about content. It's no longer like concerning myself with quality and exposure and focus and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to get back to like the ADD where it was just turn it on and hit record. This camera is definitely like bringing that back a little bit, and I think it'll probably help in releasing more videos more frequently. Comment down below what you think of the picture quality and the stabilization and all that stuff. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.